I need to tell you a secret. I had a vision of this moment before it ever even happened. It was the winter of 2018. I was mere weeks sober, and my life had fully broken open. I was living in Los Angeles. I had just gone through a gnarly breakup. I got dropped by my big-time Hollywood agent, and the kitchen in my new apartment caught on fire. And yes, getting dropped by my agent in the kitchen fire happened on the exact same day. I remember sitting outside on the ground, like watching the firefighters just rush into my apartment. Do you know, I can still feel how cold the cement was. All that just big black smoke bellowing out. My personal life had turned to ashes almost overnight, and now my new apartment was trying to do the exact same thing. I remember sitting there just pleading with myself like, this can't be it, right? I mean, this can't be it. Enough. And almost instantly, I had a vision of this exact moment. What I'm going to share with you today will change your life. You see, your deepest desires, they're not there to haunt you. They're there to be realized. I'm Rachel LaForce, and this is the Lightning Method. The Lightning Method is 4 practical steps that highlight the space between where you are in your life and where you want to be to increase your awareness that your choices alone are the only thing that will lead to closing that gap. Let's dive in, huh? Okay, so the first thing we have to decide when we're talking about moving your life from stuck to unstoppable, we got to go straight to the root, right, my friends? So this is point number 1. This is chaos. We have to identify your chaos. Now, I define chaos as the perpetual loop of action that reinforces our belief, whether conscious or subconscious, that fulfillment can never be ours. Now, I know, you're all going, I don't identify with that. Okay, is she talking to you? She's not talking to me, right? And that makes sense. Because when we think of chaos, we think of loud, messy, Jerry Springer, right? Jerry! You remember. But for a lot of us, chaos is quiet. Chaos is when we're living according to our pain rather than our desires. And here's how it's created. Our entire reality consists of 2 things: our beliefs and our choices. Our beliefs shape our choices, and our choices shape our reality. A core belief is defined as a fundamental idea that we hold about ourselves, others, and the world around us. They shape our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. And in fact, the majority of our core beliefs are developed by age 7. 7! 7? Seems like a design flaw, but let's move on. For a lot of us, we define our beliefs as limiting, right? We have low self-esteem, which leads to a high amount of negative, repetitive thoughts, also known as a loop, a perpetual loop of action that reinforces our belief, whether conscious or subconscious, that fulfillment can never be ours. And that is where a lot of us find ourselves. Unsatisfied, living adjacent to a life we desire, but we're unable to see or understand, right, conscious, why we are where we are. I know that was right for me, right? Remember sad Rachel on the concrete going, this ain't it, dog, right? In that moment, I couldn't see or understand how I got there. Well, let's go back to core beliefs. Growing up, the adults in my life were people pleasers. And this built my subconscious belief that in order for me to be liked, for me to be safe, I needed to please other people. This belief was so strong, it got me into comedy. Hold the applause. People-pleasing reinforced my belief that I could not trust my own instincts and that my answers laid outside of myself and within other people. And my people-pleasing reinforced my self-doubt and strengthened my relationship to alcohol. And it's the burning combination of wanting to be seen but not trusting myself that would create a continual loop of self-perpetuating chaos for almost 2 decades. Look at that, just a couple minutes in, I'm just up here bragging, huh? Oh, how embarrassing, huh? Oh. But Atlanta, this is only my example. This is only one example of how we stay stuck, and we allow our fear to be in the driver's seat until we become conscious that we're being faced with an opportunity to change, or as I call it, your catalyst. Now, a catalyst is I define it as an event or an experience that brings us the realization that choices are ours to make. Now, full disclosure, these catalysts often look a lot like disaster. You know, like going through a breakup so gnarly, you get sober on accident, and then you get dropped by your agent and your kitchen catches on fire because apparently it takes more than one catalyst to wake some of us up. To be clear, a catalyst is a realization that choices are ours to make, right? It is an event or an experience that is out of our control that brings us the option to continue the loop or break free. Red pill, blue pill. I remember a couple days after that breakup, and a friend rang me and she's like, "Girl, let's go out, get some drinks, blow off some steam." I'm like, blow off some steam? I didn't need 4 more IPAs. I needed help. And for the first time in my adult life, I could see a path at a new life. But I knew that in order to get there, I was going to have to make new choices. So I politely declined the drink. And that single choice was the beginning of the end of my relationship with alcohol. So that's why when people come to me and they say, "Rachel, I'm lost and I'm scared and I feel like everything is falling apart," and I just hold them and I say, "Oh my God, I am so happy for you. Are you kidding me? Everything lies on the other side of this," which is rarely met with equal fervor, as you can imagine. But it's because our catalyst is the realization that choices are ours to make. And when we decide that we're ready to live in what we desire rather than what we've just been given, that is when a new path emerges. And this is when we begin to move from stuck to unstoppable. Friends, this is the meat and potatoes, okay? This is research and development. Because when you decide that you're ready to make choices in service of a life that you want, when you've been used to making old cycles, you don't feel brave yet, okay? Even if you know what you desire and where you're going, you don't feel confident or capable, right? Just really vulnerable. Okay, look, the best way for me to explain this to you is by reviewing the 1993 American film classic, The Sandlot. Now, if you're not, some of you know it, if you're not familiar, The Sandlot is about a ragtag group of boys who play baseball on a, you guessed it, sandlot. And it's based in the 1960s. Now, through a course of action, they knock a baseball over the fence. Now, this baseball was signed by baseball legend Babe Ruth, okay? Now, they can't just go over the fence and get it because on the other side of the fence lies the beast. A dog, you know it, so big, so legendary that he has terrified neighborhood kids for years. So they know where the ball is and they desire it, but they don't feel brave yet. So what do? They try a lot of things. They go into research. So one of the things they do, they build a giant erector set and they try to hoist it over the fence, right? To just try to get the ball and it doesn't work. So then they build a giant pulley system and they hoist the smallest of them over the fence to try to pick. Yeah, that doesn't work either. Until eventually they grow brave enough and they hop the fence and they meet the beast face to face. And that is exactly what research and development feels like, right? Because at first you're not going to feel brave, but it's a continual process. It's an ongoing process of making new choices that strengthens over time. And that's the process, right? Because research and development transitions our vulnerability to curiosity, and curiosity fuels bravery. Bravery is developing a new core belief that we are capable. Friends, we live in a society that values confidence, right? Fake it till you make it. Try these 3 postures to show confidence in the workplace, right? Beyonce. But I believe that building a society of capable people is just as valuable as confident ones. Because we won't always feel confident, especially when we're trying something new. But capability is a constant. Capability is knowing no matter the task, you will figure it out. It's self-trust. I live differently now that I know I am both capable and confident. I'm not friends with people I don't like, and I don't do business with people I don't trust. And I don't have to justify it or explain it to anyone. Because it being my choice is enough because it's mine. And while my past is not erased, I don't live as its captor. Because I live by my new core beliefs. That I am safe, that I am enough, and that my gifts are meant to be shared. And so are yours. Look, Atlanta, you guys seem like good people, okay? So I don't want to lie to you. The last math class that I took was my freshman year of college, and it was called Math for Survival, okay? And real title. And I got a humble C-, okay? And it is with that bravado that I now present to you the transformation equation, okay? Now, if you take anything home with you today, I hope you will remember this. Because this is what it's all about. The transformation equation is building new core beliefs that we are capable, that we are enough, that we are made for our mission, plus aligned choices, right? Remember, our entire reality consists of 2 things, our beliefs and our choices. And research and development is about aligning those towards what you desire, right? So it's our new core beliefs plus our choices equals our desired reality. And it's here in this new desired reality that we can look back and see just how chaotic those loops were, right? And how vulnerable we were in our catalyst and how expansive we became during research and development. The cost of living a life you desire is being willing to play at the edge of failure. You have to be willing to get caught trying. And this is point number 4. This is your lightning bolt, your comparative moment. It's seeing that you closed the gap from where you were to where you wanted to be. And for me, it's being here with you today. Because I spent a long time in research and development. And standing here on the other side, may I just say it's worth it. Building a life you desire is worth it. And to be honest with you, sometimes it's so hard to feel proud of how far I've come because that sad young woman living in Los Angeles, just chain smoking American spirits, is nothing more than a distant memory. But by her choosing to believe in me, by her choosing to believe in my desires, even when she didn't have evidence yet, to believe in me, I'm now here. And I'm living a fulfilled and purpose-driven life. And for that, I am eternally grateful to her. The lightning method is a practical and repeatable process for long-term, sustainable self-transformation. Because even when you can't predict the future, you can bet on yourself and you can create a new one. Thank you so much for listening. This is truly a dream come true.